Kenya faces the issue of skills gap in the job market, with employers complaining that the universities are not producing graduates with the necessary skills, which hinders growth. To curb this, both the government and the private sector have come up with different initiatives to address this. And one of them is the Career Acceleration Program by Pitman Training Kenya and Safal Group Foundation that we will be highlighting here today. They have sponsored 5 students for a scholarship to train them to be ready for the job market. This, among many other stories, we'll be bringing you here today. You are rightly tuned in. My name is Stephanie Ayata. This is Take on Tech. Interact with us at KBC Channel 1.
This week, we track the surge of internet growth across the continent, from open access wholesale partnerships breaking barriers for small and mid-sized internet service providers (ISPs) to Mawingu's $20 million boost that is set to connect over 1 million rural households across Africa. We also dive into the latest numbers from the Communication Authority, showing Kenya has now crossed 2 million broadband connections as competition among providers heats up and fiber networks expand into towns once left behind. Stay tuned, because when it comes to technology, Africa is not just catching up, we are leaping ahead. We begin with the backbone of Africa's digital economy, the internet. The hunger for fast, reliable, and affordable connectivity has never been greater. But for smaller internet service providers, scaling has always been a challenge. Building networks requires huge investments in fiber, data centers, and international capacity. That model is changing. Wholesale partnerships are now transforming the landscape. Instead of competing with ISPs, companies like West Indian Ocean Cable Company, WIOCC, are enabling them, offering open access infrastructure that lowers costs and accelerates growth. From subsea cables to metro fiber networks and carrier-neutral data centers, WIOCC provides the tools ISPs need to deliver services faster and more reliably. The impact is already visible. In Kenya, metro fiber in Nairobi and Mombasa is connecting smaller towns once out of reach. And for local players like Philcom Networks, partnering with WIOCC has meant scaling at speed, improving reliability, and reaching new customers without the burden of massive upfront costs. And the momentum doesn't stop there. East Africa's largest rural internet provider, Mawingu, has secured $20 million in funding from Pembani Remgro Infrastructure Fund 2. With this boost, the company plans to connect at least 1 million people across Africa by 2028.
This funding is going to be utilized for capital growth in existing markets and international expansions across this beautiful continent. The statistics in Africa are merely daunting, with only 1 in 25 homes connected to the internet. The World Bank states that a 10% increase in internet penetration can have a 1.38% impact on GDP. This is where Mawingu makes the most of it.
Mawingu started in Nanyuki in 2012 with a mission to connect communities often ignored by bigger telcos. Today, it operates in 31 counties across Kenya and has expanded into Tanzania through the acquisition of Habari.
At the tail end of last year, Mawingu closed its first international expansion into Tanzania, acquiring 100% of Habari Node. Today, Habari Node has acquired a national license to serve the greater part of Tanzania. It's serving over 3,000 customers spanning across 9 regions. The impact is just starting.
Less than 20% of homes in both Kenya and Tanzania are connected to the internet, showing just how massive the opportunity is. By focusing on rural and peri-urban households, Mawingu is proving that affordable, reliable broadband can transform communities. Back home, Kenya's broadband numbers are also soaring. According to the Communication Authority, the country has now surpassed 2.1 million fixed broadband subscriptions, a jump of more than 40% in just 1 year. Fiber to the home leads the charge with over 1 million connections, while fixed wireless and enterprise fiber are also on the rise. The competition is heating up. Safaricom remains the market leader, but challengers like Jamii Telecommunications, Zuku, Power Internet, and newcomers such as Ahadi Wireless and Starlink are reshaping the market. Government initiatives like the National Optic Fiber Backbone are playing a big role, ensuring more Kenyans from big cities to rural towns can access high-speed internet. Training Kenya, in partnership with the Safal MRM Foundation, has launched the Career Acceleration Program. This 6-month initiative offers 5 fully funded scholarships for underprivileged but bright students, granting access to the prestigious Administrative Assistant Diploma. The program combines over 170 hours of e-learning with in-person masterclasses covering communication, job readiness, and productivity. Beyond technical skills, scholars are receiving personal career support, from CV and LinkedIn optimization to mock interviews designed to prepare them for meaningful employment.
Pitman training has been around for over 187 into 188 years now, when we invented the shorthand back in 1837. So, Siprosa, you mentioned this a few times. That's what we were known for, the secretarial powerhouse. Since then, of course, we still do shorthand and we have modernized it a lot, but it's still there. We've now evolved into a business that supports every single business function a business would have in terms of professional training qualifications. So we've kept true to the heritage, kept true to the brand, but evolved the offering so that the students do not just have theoretical skills, and this is key, not just the theoretical skills, but the practical application of those skills in a work environment. Case in point, you go into a new job, the boss asks you to pull a report on Excel and give him some insights. You've never used Excel, you'll wing it, you'll give him a crap report. Come through our training, we'll show you exactly how to use the tools, exactly how to develop those reports so that that amplification of that productivity is spot on. And that's the real difference between theoretical versus practical.
Since I've done counseling psychology diploma, I'm very sure this program will help me in improving my communication skills mostly, and also in my digital computer things, because nowadays things are digitalized. So I can also do it through online, and that's basically what I'm excited about.
So Safari Marine Foundation has been empowering young people in Kenya in the last 25 years. The foundation works in 4 thematic focus areas: education, health, shelter, and environment. And education is one of our flagship projects. We run a technical vocational skills training in Kilifi. We support Labati Technical Training Institute in Mariakani that has trained over 17,000 young people since it opened its doors in 2004. So one of the processes that we integrated in our training program is ICT and tech courses. Apart from vocational skills training programs like automobile mechanics, electrical installation, engineering, healthcare courses, healthcare assistant courses, dressmaking, garment making. In the last couple of years, we started to roll out advanced tech courses. First, starting with the computer literacy, digital literacy skills, but also enhancing these courses to include courses like AI, introducing students to the AI and the opportunities that are there within AI.
With 75% of Kenya's population under the age of 35, investing in youth is critical.
Africa has a demographic dividend. What do I mean by that? I mean that the world is getting older, but Africa is getting bigger, and it will still remain young. So when we fast forward to 50 years from now, 1 out of 3 people in the world will be from Africa. That is huge potential. So when you look at Africa's youthful workforce, that is an absolute game changer. Over 60% are under 25 years of age in 2025. And that 1/3 is going to be 3.3 billion people by 2075. Currently, the median age of Africa is 19. Kenya is pretty much in line with that average. But when you fast forward to 50 years from now, the median age for Africa will still be just under 30. Compare that with Europe, which will be at 48, and Far East Asia, which will be probably at 56, which means we'll be having a greater share of younger population and a greater share of the working population. That is a huge dividend. So we've got this great working population dividend coming through, but there is an employability gap that we have in the market. From the World Economic Forum data, this was really interesting. 71% of Kenyan employers cited a lack of skilled talent hindering growth. So it's a paradox. We need the talent to develop the growth, to develop the jobs. But there is, and Siprosa, you mentioned this as well, I think there is a challenge in terms of the academic sector leaving our young workforce without the necessary skills that they need to really apply and excel in the work environment. I'm an employer, you guys are employers, we see this every day. And especially if you're in talent acquisition, I'm sure it's as prevalent to you as anyone else. So this is the employability gap. And barriers to employment for Kenya specifically are around 3 key areas. So communication, which we're addressing in the masterclass. Productivity, how do you manage your time? How do you develop and implement against a plan of work that actually delivers impact? And IT, and this cuts across quite a lot of spaces. It could be as basic as digital literacy, all the way through to understanding Microsoft Office suites, through to cybersecurity, AI, the lot. So the career pathway and the structure across IT is huge. And Kenyan employers specifically say there's a practical exposure, a lack of practical exposure to workplace technology. So you'll find a lot of working professionals that come to us are not necessarily trained correctly in using workplace technology, whether it's as basic as Microsoft Office Suite, Microsoft Excel, SharePoint, Teams, Google Sheets, all the way through to some of the social media channels. Time management, absolutely key inefficiency that's been flagged, as well as professional communication. This is really relevant, particularly at those at early stage careers. So we're looking at those within sort of maybe first or second jobs, 2-3 years in, and these foundational skills are missing. So what we're finding is employers are returning them back into the training world so that they can train on these basic skills. Thinking and creative problem solving, these soft skills are pretty key. The ability to take initiative on your own back, to come to an employer and say, I found a problem, but here's the solution, and this is how I think it would work, rather than this is the problem, I don't know what to do with it. And I see this all the time, and probably Subrata, you see this all the time. Really great, talented students, candidates, who are technically very sound. They probably have got a master's degree. They're engineers, they're coders. But the ability to translate what they know into convincing someone else of their value, we see this as a huge gap and a huge disservice to the investment they've put in. So we'll be focusing a lot also within the Career Acceleration Program in terms of how to build up your resume correctly, but also how to interview correctly, knowing exactly what the employers are looking for, not the other way around.
The organizers expect at least 80% completion and a 70% job placement rate.
The labor market is changing drastically, and you see more and more opportunities in the tech space. And that is why we decided, or we made a deliberate decision to integrate tech courses in our training program to, one, ensure that the trainees who are coming from our technical training institute are clearly the desirable skills that are needed in the current labor market, but also listening to the demands from the labor market.
For the students, it's more than training. It's a lifeline to opportunity, proving how technology-enabled education can bridge the gap between learning and earning.
Give us your thoughts on that particular story, especially what you think different stakeholders can do to help us alleviate the problem of unemployment, but not just that, but also address the issue of the skill gap. Especially if you're a young person, what do you think needs to be done, or how do you think we can be empowered? Talk to us at KBC Channel 1. The hashtag remains to be Take on Tech. I will see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, let's keep it tech.